Howard Stern. Did you hear about this?
No.
So Howard Stern, he was a favorite of mine growing up. Like everybody.
Really?
Yeah. You're driving
Okay.
around, you're listening to K-Rock in the morning, shock jocks doing all kind of absurd things, totally entertaining. Like there's been times where I was listening to a segment that he had, and it was so captivating that I would stay in my truck and listen to the fulfillment of the segment rather than get out and do my job or doing whatever. So
that's good
I
Loved it.
Loved it.
Time spent listening.
Okay. He found out that if he does something that's, beyond the status quo, he does something that's a little, low conflict there, low controversial, that people would listen. And he made a entire name for himself in radio as being the shock jock who did not care about the FCC and would just do whatever he wanted to do. And people had lots of respect for someone who'd push against the machine. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
Later in life, K-Rock, he was very expensive personality, caused a lot of conflict for the radio stations that hosted him. And so SiriusXM radio decided to buy out his contract, and he went completely satellite radio. So in order to listen to Howard Stern, you had to pay $60 a year to listen to Howard Stern. And for the short term, they paid him gobs of money, more than $100 million a year.
Holy crap.
To host a radio show and bring his entire audience to a satellite radio market that absolutely needed a headliner, right?
Yeah.
Totally filled that void, filled that role. New cars would come and they'd have a temporary subscription. People would listen to whatever, and then they would become subscribers. And that he made XM radio what it is today because of his audience. 15 years into the future now, his $100 million price tag it's not having the same effect. The subscribers aren't flocking to him.
We're jaded and not impressed anymore.
Because it's a one-trick pony, right? You've seen one. I'm not even a listener of his anymore. Now, here's what he did. He ruined his brand by getting political. It's no longer like Howard Stern's conflicted, opinion for ratings. It's Howard Stern's self-important douchebag who using his platform to bash people over the head because of his political views.
Yeah.
That's where he lost his audience. So XM's like, you know what? You're too expensive. You are no longer a XM. Now, would a radio station pick him up because he still has a pretty credible audience that if they went to terrestrial radio, he could totally make money again? Sure. So it's not a dead career. But I love the fact that he was willing to trade $100 million a year for his political beliefs. And I think there's a lot of people who make self-sacrifice for a system that would never make the sacrifice back in their benefit.
Do you think he knowingly made the sacrifice, or he thought he was going to be bigger for it?
No. He thought that he was untouchable. His ego got the best of him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And he's like, if you're an entertainer and your whole audience is your whole audience is in front of you, and you're like, there's some people in this audience I probably wouldn't like. So you have two choices: whether or not you still do your show and collect their dollars and don't care that they disagree with you, or you're so important that you want to alienate half the people that are in your audience and say, don't even listen to me, right? Like Pink is like, don't even listen to my music if you're a Republican and voted for Trump.
Pink has said that?
Pink has said that, yeah.
Oh, I've heard other bands say that, yeah.
I'm like, your manager and the recording, whoever you have your contract with, the recording company, your audience, your fans, whatever, you're willing to take half of them and totally sabotage your career because of your political views.
Yeah.
That is like a death knell. And I celebrate people failing because of that, because I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. I've even heard, I think it was it Red Jumpsuit Apparatus or some band recently said the same thing.
Right.
And I like them. And it's not even like I would get mad at someone for doing that because I was pro whatever candidate they were, bashing. Mine's just like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, even if I were totally on your side politically and I was totally supporting the same candidate you were, if you then publicly said, if you're not for this candidate, get out of here, I'd be like, What's your problem?
Yeah, I'm out. There's too many entertainers
Yeah.
that are willing to entertain me without prerequisites. But once you become self-important, you're like, I can survive my political opinions. And that's when I want you to feel those decisions.
Yeah. I did see, it was a while ago. I don't even remember what he said, but I saw a clip of Howard Stern and he was going off about politics. And my first thought was like, dude, stay in your lane.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? That's so dumb. And yeah, I never really hear him. I think I saw he had Lady Gaga on one time and she was doing a version of a song I like. So I watched for that. Other than that, I'm like, I don't really care what he has to say.
Yeah, because it's sort of like entertainment rape, right? Because you're in the audience and because you're listening to them, they feel so self-important that since you're there, they're going to mentally rape you with whatever their messaging is, rather than reading their mission statement says, okay, I have a talent and the people in my audience, I'm going to do my best to make sure they leave my show entertained.
Yeah.
Right? That's your lane. That's the lane you're talking about. So when a NFL player or entertainer or an actor gets overtly political, they are willingly saying, I don't effing care about you being entertained anymore. It's because I held you hostage with your attention at this point. I'm going to mentally rape you and I'm going to tell you what I think you should feel. And they think they're doing justice because they obviously think they're right.
Yeah.
By trying to convert you into the zealotry that is their ego.
Yeah, and I even I have another job where I'm on a radio station down in Georgia still, and I record out of my house. And anybody who's in radio knows that there are different, they call them like show prep sites, just websites you can go to see what's going on in the world, what's going on in entertainment, talk about some things that are happening. And this one site I always use, the first half of it is all like government, world headlines, things of that nature. And I'm always like, nope. And I go down to the entertainment one because I'm there to entertain people and to make them feel good.
Right.
I don't want to talk about overly serious stuff.
Right.
And two, when it's political, I'm not about to bring something up that's going to be divisive and going to cause an argument and going to alienate people. I'm like, we're here to entertain, not just feed into the whole, let's continue to stir the pot and make people mad. And if your platform is for that, it's for that. But not everyone is.
It depends. It's a bait and switch. So let's just say I'm Matt Stone and Trey Parker, right? My goal is to piss everybody off.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be always entertainment. If you became popular by doing X and you continue doing X, and everybody has expectations and no, right?
Yeah.
But if you got people in there to be entertained, and since you have their attention, that you switch the script and decide to go into your own diatribe and alienate those people, that's where if you were like, hey, come to the concert where we make you feel like shit and we pressure your views and we're not interested in your entertainment, we want you because you're captured.
Yeah.
Then it's equal, because then people who don't want that don't show up and they don't feel like they've been hoodwinked by whoever's on stage. So if you have Dixie Chicks were a good example of this. So I like the Dixie Chicks music. They were on my playlist. They made me feel good. The songs that they sang were good. They did all the things I wanted to do. I became a fan of the Dixie Chicks. And during the George W. Bush era, they decided that they were going to get uber political, right? Mm-hmm. And they even made songs about that, right?
Yeah.
And then they got hammered by their country roots and, massive conservative contingent inside their fan base, and they alienated them. So they didn't made a oh shit song, weepy song about how they're unfairly being judged and demonized by the people that they freaking alienated, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's freaking solid. But then I watched them as what they were complaining about during George W. Bush's era immediately dissolve when every other president that was a Democrat. So Obama could have done the exact same freaking thing. And all of a sudden, like if it's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, no matter who's president, they're going to impugn you. They're going to lampoon the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter who you are. So I'm there for that. You want to say that Trump has a small penis, right? As long as you say that Joe Biden is a Walking Dead character, I'm cool with that because you're doing it to everybody. But the minute you're like, I'm going to make fun of Republicans and get all out of whack when it's a Republican. And then a Democrat, I'm going to lay cover fire down and I'm not going to make any songs. So Green Day, or no, not Green Day. What's
I think Green Day, they definitely got political.
Yeah, what's the September Ends song?
That's Green Day.
Oh, is it Green Day?
Yeah, Wake Me Up When September
Yeah,
Ends.
all of a sudden they don't have a problem with presidents after the one they were, targeting. Like, that's insincere.
Well, if you were at a concert and it was a band you loved and you'd been dying to see and you listened to for years, and when you were at that concert, they said something like that.
Dead to me. Dead to
They're
me.
like, get out if you vote for so-and-so.
Immediately dead to me.
Would you leave?
Leave. I would leave.
God, that would be so
Yeah,
disappointing.
the stay in your lane thing is a real thing. There was actually a guitarist, and I don't remember what band they were from, but it was profiled on X over the weekend, and he lifted his guitar and it said some anti-Trump message, right? And all of the feedback was, stay in your lane, shut up and play your guitar. And that is the absolute wisdom that musicians and artists, because you don't see, with rare exception, you don't go see a musician or an artist for their political beliefs. You're not like, I wonder what they're feeling today, right?
Yeah.
We're not looking for that. We're there for the freaking
They're
music.
like, oh, I can't think or make up a decision on my own. Maybe my hero, this musician, can tell me how to think.
Right.
And
exactly.
who should I be for?
Very few exceptions are showing up for that. We want to be entertained. We want to hear the songs that we like. You are an operator. You can play that guitar really well. You can sing really well. You're a certain, whatever. It's almost like if Sydney Sweeney.
I was just going to use that as an example. Yeah.
Right. Was sitting one day and say, why do people like me? Right.
Yeah.
And you poll 100 of your fans and say, you're really good to look at. Your boobs are perfect. Like, whatever your prowesses are, you make a list of why people like you. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to keep doing those things and make my paycheck and satisfy the fans that showed up because of what I presented. And then I'm like, you know what? These people didn't say that they wanted to know what my feed was on economics, right? But since they're here, I am going to go belligerent on what I think economics are. And you're going to watch all the people who are like, came here for boobs. It's talking about economics. I'm out. And then say, oh, aghast. How dare Sydney Sweeney, right?
Yeah.
I turned my back on Sydney Sweeney because instead of showing me more boobs, she showed me economic theories, right? She starts talking Milton Friedman.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time before she's asked about her political opinion in an interview.
Right.
Because her whole American Eagle ad has become so politicized. And I'm like,
if she were smart,
girl,
what would she say? What would she say?
She'd say, I'm not talking about that.
Exactly. Stay
like
out
I was in an
of
ad,
the lane
period.
that's offered.
Yes.
So when NBA players and NFL players were taking a knee for politics, right? The audience is there to see you do something. What do you think it's for your political persuasions, or do you think it's because you're an athlete at the pinnacle of what athletes even are, right? Or what it is to be an athlete. You're at the pinnacle. I want to see that. I don't give two shits what you care about breast cancer or what you care about racism or what you care about the president or anything else. Can you shoot it in the hoop? Can you catch a pass? Can you take a big hit from a defender? That's what I'm there for. And the minute that you go off script and think that you're more important than you are dead to me. Period.